Well, what's going on, everybody? How are you guys doing on this wonderful Saturday night? Welcome to an episode of the Night Crew. That's how you would say it if you have a French accent, which I don't, but that's okay. Sorry, I was looking at my monitor trying to make sure my sound is on, but it is. You know, I didn't really know what I was going to talk about tonight. In fact, I didn't even want to do a show, and now I kind of do. I still know what I want to talk about, but I'm having mixed feelings. Like, I'm kind of like pissed off, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, okay, here's a need. You know, how many of you guys saw the video that I tweeted out? Just press 1 if you saw the video that I tweeted out about the elderly lady in Nashville. How many of you saw the video? I'm still sick. Yeah, it's just coming in waves. But how many of you guys saw this video? Very, very hard video. And it pissed me off. It pissed me off. And let me give you a little bit of background. So I think it was February 5th, a woman named Lisa Edwards. It was February 5th. Yeah, February 5th. I'm sorry. Yeah, February 5th. She went to the hospital. Actually on February 4th, she went to the hospital. Apparently she flew in to see her family. She's having some health complications, so she went to the hospital. She was treated at one hospital. She was discharged. She still wasn't feeling good. So she checked into the Fort Sanders Regional Medical Center. And she stayed overnight in the ER, and then they discharged her in the morning. Now, this woman, she knew something was wrong. You know what I mean? She clearly just did not feel good. She knew something was wrong. So she refused to leave the hospital. So the hospital, I believe it was, I don't know, but I believe that the hospital, the security, called the police there to the hospital. And I'm going to play this video. And I'm just going to play a shorter version of the video. I do have the full hour-long video. But I tell you what, I don't even want to play the video. I really don't. April, can you go over to Facebook and ban Angela Dykes something? She's spamming my chat, please. And do it, if you can, kind of get it quickly because she's doing the COVID stuff to try to get me banned. You guys are telling me to play it. Guys, this is like if you have a grandmom, a mom, you know a neighbor. I tell you, this video is going to be hard. It's going to rock you. I couldn't even watch the whole thing. And even when I found the full body camera footage, the critical incident that was put out by Knoxville police, I couldn't even watch it. It made me even more mad because I've gone like up and down.
I'm talking.
I'll play it.
I understand you say you got some problems going on.
Viewer discretion advised, guys.
You're going to have to find a way to get out of here, okay? I don't want this to turn into a situation where you have to go to jail.
Shattered my ankle. I had a stroke.
Well, if the medical professionals have saw you and discharged you,
They won't.
I got nothing to do with that then, but you got to get going.
I can't even get down there.
So you're saying that you're going to go to jail. Well, what's going to happen is you're going to have to roll this off the property.
It's the hospital's wheelchair.
Well, you're going to have to get up and figure out a way to get going.
I can't. Please don't do me this way. I don't want to go to jail.
Get up and get moving then. Porter Bravo, can you have the wagon sitting over here? Jail. Confirmed.
All right, young lady.
Oh no,
I need you to step up,
I
okay?
can't.
Yeah, you have to.
Pull me back. I can't. Oh my God.
You're Jack.
Oh my God.
You're gonna have to get up there because we're gonna have to physically put you up there if not.
Oh my God. I can't. You're gonna break me.
Yes, ma'am, you're gonna have to get in
My
there.
ankle. I can't breathe.
You've been medically cleared, ma'am. This is not gonna work. So we need you to help
My
us.
inhaler. I'm gonna pass out.
No, stop. Okay, it's not working. Okay, just stop. You've been medically cleared, so we know better.
Oh my God.
Walk.
Oh my God.
Get in the daggone.
Okay.
Oh my
my
fucking Jesus, Lord Mary goats. Now you're starting to piss me off. Get up.
Okay, give me up.
This is all an act. She has been discharged.
No, I haven't.
This is
I
the
can't
Lord's,
do it.
listen to me. This is the Lord's day. All I want to do is give me some coffee and some oatmeal. I'm not going to deal with your mess this morning. We've already spent too much time on you. You're going to get up here in this van and you're going to go to jail. We're done with this.
I'm gonna pass out.
You're not going to pass out. We'll go and get in there and pass out. We'll be done with it. Because this is all an act. You're not going back in the hospital. They're not taking you back. You've been kicked out of 2 hospitals.
Please.
What do you need your purse for?
My inhaler.
It's not in there. We've already went
There's no inhaler in your purse.
You guys can't do this to me. Oh my God, dear Lord.
I can't watch any more of that. They couldn't get her in the car, right? So they put her on the ground, where she remained on the ground for about a half an hour. All the while, she's breathing like that. You know, the extremely exaggerated wheeze. Clearly in distress. Like, that's the thing that I find the most concerning. But they can't get her in the vehicle. She's repeatedly asking for the inhaler. At one time, an officer offers her a cigarette. She repeatedly asks for the inhaler. They find the inhaler. They try to give her the inhaler. She's not taking it, or so they say. It's not working. She the whole time is saying that she's having trouble. She can't breathe. Her head hurts. You know, all of these things, right? So they finally give up on trying to get her into the transport van, and they manhandle her to put her into the back seat of a police cruiser. Okay? She's laying down in the back seat of a police cruiser, and the breathing on the video is horrible. Horrible. And they're sitting there and they're cracking jokes about whether she shit herself. And they keep going back and forth, and eventually they make the decision to drive her, with her laying down in the back of the police cruiser, to jail. At some point, she repeatedly says in the back of the cruiser she can't breathe. She can't breathe. She's on her back. Her head is kind of pushed up against the door. She's wheezing. Like the wheeze from the police camera footage is outrageous. Like, there's no way, even without medical training. I'm watching this video, and the first thing I thought was, I'm like, they have to go to jail. The officers all have to go to jail, because there's no way that you cannot tell that that woman is in complete and utter distress. There is no way. But they don't. They take her in the police car as she's gasping, as she's wheezing, until she no longer is gasping, until she's no longer wheezing. They pull over with the police van behind the police cruiser and realize that she's fallen unconscious. They transport her to the hospital, where she's put on life support for a day till she has a massive stroke and dies. The DA has said that they're not going to charge any of these officers. My first response was that every single one of these police officers should be charged. That was my first response, is that every single one of these police officers should be charged. Because I know myself, I could recognize that there is a dire health scenario there. But of course, I have medical training, so it's different, right? These police officers, none of which have any medical training besides basic first aid and trauma, bandages and stuff. They have no first aid. That woman, the 60-year-old woman who repeatedly for over an hour told the officers that something was wrong, died because, and I will say it was neglect. Can they be charged? No. Can the officer, and see, I take that back because I firmly believe if I was a prosecutor, I would charge the officer who was driving that vehicle and listening to her wheeze like that. There is no way that you can think someone normally breathes like that. And I don't know.
You're fine.
There's no fucking way. There's no way. That's her in the back. And I can't play the whole damn thing because I'm going to lose my shit again. That was her in the back as they're transporting her. She is dying. And the officer is sitting there driving. He doesn't have music on. He hears it. This video is on my Twitter. Everyone can find it on my Twitter. But here's the issue. So my first response was like, holy shit. How are they not all charged with this? Right? Granted, this isn't like Memphis where they beat the shit out of the guy, beat him to death. No. They charge them all, rightfully so, with murder. Can you charge all the officers? No. What about the officers that were swearing and all that stuff? Hold on. It's just it's disgusting to me. It's disgusting to me. And it pisses me off more than I could describe. But and so my first response was like, F all these guys, they should all be charged, right? That was my first response when I watched the video. And then I started thinking about it. I started looking down, right? Because I remember one time when I was an EMT, we got a call for a person that was having a seizure. Hold on. When I was, sorry, because my wife is texting me right now about something else. So I'm trying to do multitask here on a Saturday night. I got so mad, dude. I got so mad watching this. But I remember the guy was having a seizure, right? And the cop was just standing back, because what do you do, right? You can't. So the cop was standing back, small town cop. And as I go up and I start assessing him while he was, ending his seizure, and he was in postnoctal state. I hate that word. But so he was starting to come around, right? And I realized he was armed. And I told the cop, I'm like, you got to take the gun from him, please, because he's not of sound mind at this point. And but I remember sitting there going, even in this small town where our response time, because I worked for a private EMS service on the weekends at that point, and the fire department full time, I was like, there's got to be some sort of training requirements for these small town cops, right? That they have some sort of medical requirements. And then I was watching. So actually, before this, I was watching last night's episode of On Patrol Live. I don't know how many of you guys watched it. But towards the beginning of the episode, I was watching it. My wife was watching with me, too. And I actually rewound it, and I played it for her just so she would say. Just to see what she would have to say about it. And I forgot where the cops are from. Richland County. You know that big-ass cop? The really big cop from Richland County? They got a call for some disturbance at a gas station. And he walks to the gas station, and there's a slim black dude that was there, and he was completely on drugs, like completely out of his mind. Completely out of his mind. A definite risk to himself and others. So what do the cops do? They ask him where his house is. And as this guy barely can walk, barely can function, knows where he is, they allow him to cross a 6-lane highway as cars are speeding by so he could find his way home. And the cops actually left before. So you don't know if he actually made it home. And I haven't finished the episode, so I don't know what happened. But I was watching that, and I'm like, there's no way that was acceptable. Because you would think a cop would know that the person is on drugs. They are not safe, certainly not to walk across a 6-lane highway, but they're not safe to be out there. The guy wouldn't walk on the pavement. He thought it was like lava and it was going to kill him. How many of you guys saw that video from last night? It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. You know, why police officers aren't all dual trained. I know a lot of police officers have this thing from the NREMT, which is the emergency, like first responder, emergency medical responder, right? So it's a step below an EMT. And so I know police officers, that's been like the go-to, right? So they teach you, I don't even know if they could put NPAs or any of that in. So I don't know what their skill level is or what they're allowed to do. But I know it's like CPR. It's more than CPR. But I don't know why all police officers aren't required or at least incentivized to at least have an EMT certification and have medical direction. Because think about it, the average response time for law enforcement is 3 minutes. The average response time for EMS is between 4 and 6 minutes, depending on your market. So why wouldn't they have law enforcement be duly trained with CPR certifications, defibrillators, and all that stuff in their car so they could go and render medical aid? Because you know what? This woman would have been alive if any of those officers actually had any sort of medical training whatsoever. American veterans said there's no money for that. You're right. You're right. There's not enough money for training. Yeah, you're right. And for a long time, many of you guys have known I've been looking for something else. Not to stop doing shows, not to stop with the coffee. No, something for me to be like, because the reason why when I covered all the riots and everything, it felt great, right? It felt great because I was showing what was really going on in the country, but that's not why it felt great. What felt great was all the good that we were able to do of it. All the money we were able to donate, all the body armor we were able to buy, all of the kids, the toys for the kids in the Rhode Island State Police, and the, paying the rent for the guy that was getting evicted, the former cop that was shot and paralyzed on the job, doing all those things. It really made me feel good. And for a long time, I've been trying to figure out what will make me feel good again about doing stuff. I've thought about going back into the fire service on a volunteer side, but I can't. I already know that. My head won't allow me to do it. So I think I figured it out. I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back because that's one thing. When I quit the fire service and quit being an EMT, I recertified my EMS license the whole time. So my EMT certification was good up until last year when it finally lapsed. I'm going back, and I just got to do 40 hours and retest, but I'm going back and I'm getting my EMT license again. No, I'm not going to go back out and work as an EMT. Nope. But then I'm going to go and I'm going to get my EMT teaching certification, right? On Monday, I'm going to file the paperwork and I'm going to start a nonprofit where we are going to provide free training for law enforcement to become EMTs. So they could do that, and free training, and it will all be through their actual departments. And I also decided, because, I'm very big in politics. I like politics. I can't run for politics because I'd end up punching out all the other lawmakers. So I can't do that. But what better way to start lobbying for incentives and grants to help these police departments do this? Many police departments want to. In fact, there's one in Virginia that's been beta testing a program now for 2 years. 2 years. And duly certifying their deputies. It just doesn't happen enough. There's a department, I think it's in sunny something, California, where all their firefighters are cops and all their EMTs are firefighters. They're all duly certified, and it works. They're saving lives. And in fact, they're helping. There was a mass shooting that was in a neighboring town. The suspects ran into their town. What they do, they put all their firefighters, as soon as their shifts were over, they put them all in uniform because they're all cops. And they went from having 18 cops to 40 cops, and they captured the guy. And so that's what I'm doing. On Monday, I'm filing the paperwork if I don't do it before then. But I think I can't get the EIN until Monday because I think they close on the weekends now. But that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to start doing that. And that's going to be my project on the side. Because they could do it. You know? And I remember when I was in Florida, there was a fire department where all of the firefighters that worked for that small little town also had to be police officers because they were multifunction. That's all what they did. And so that's it. Someone said, yeah, hon, go back to school and get your pilot's license. No, see, you don't understand. I have to do 40 hours of continuing education and then just go take the test. The test is, can you block and brace someone's leg? Can you do CPR? Can you diagnose someone? I was a firefighter EMT for years. I could figure all that stuff out. And the 40 hours of research I could do right online. I don't have to go back and do 6 weeks of course or anything like that. And so that's what I'm doing. And so if you guys want to support that effort, just go buy something from the store. Go buy anything from Pure Truth Coffee today because I'm going to use 100% of the profits. And I know everyone that's vested in Pure Truth is on board with this. Go buy coffee. Go buy a coffee bag. Go buy whatever because I'm going to use all of the profits that we make tonight to launch this nonprofit. And I'm going to do it. Because I've been looking for a long time at something. I'm like, what do I do? I've been having a conversation with my wife every night about running for office. Because I'm like, I have to. Because there's no reason. There's no reason this woman should have died. No reason at all. Yes, the hospital was negligent in releasing her, 100%. But those police officers, if they had adequate medical training, they would have said, we're not transporting. We can't transport. You know? And we can't. Terrence Stark said $5 super chat, said, Steve, you should do a Loza bundle. 50% goes to his cancer fund, 50% to you. Yeah, I haven't really talked about Loza much just because it's hard. He's got cancer. You know, he says that the blood works all come back and he's got leukemia. You know, but luckily he's got a give, send, go up, and he's making he's made some decent revenue. So I'm really hoping. I haven't followed his videos. I've been busy, so I don't know what the latest update is. But hopefully he's doing well. But yeah, if you guys want to contribute to Loza, go to his YouTube page and you can find the gifts
Steve,
going.
You should do a Loza bundle. 50% goes to his cancer fund, 50% to you.
But someone said EIN you could do online 24/7. I don't know. I remember the last time I tried to do it, wouldn't let me do it on the weekend. Oh, shit. Hold on. I gotta check something. I may have just fucked up. Someone owed my wife and I money, and they may have just paid, but I think I gave him the wrong information. No, I gave him the right one. Good. All right, good. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Anything you buy in the store tonight, I'm using all the profit, and I'm doing it anyway. But because I've been one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done. Okay, was being an EMT. The fireside sucked. Fire scares me. I'll be honest with you. But the most fulfilling thing I've ever done in my life was being an EMT. The feeling you get knowing that you're helping people or you're giving them comfort, even when you can't help them because it's out of your scope or they're just going to die. Like, to be honest, just knowing that, like that feeling, it was just good. Someone said, Steve, did they drop the VA requirements for EMT? I don't know what you're talking about, VA requirements. The vaccines? They never had vaccine requirements. Well, that was individual departments. Like we had someone on a call-in show a long time ago that said that their department was requiring vaccinations, but you're not required through the National Registry of Emergency Medical Technicians to be vaccinated, I don't believe. But yeah, I was never, but that was one of the most fulfilling things for me was just working there. Plus I look damn good in a uniform, but no, I'm just kidding. I watched this video today and I'm like, Jesus Christ, there's just no way. There were so many signs that she was in medical distress. Like if you watch that video, you're going to go through all of the phases of craziness. You know what I mean? All of the phases that I did today of sheer anger, of panic, of tears. You know what I mean? Watching that, because I imagine my mom, or I imagine, other people, my my wife's grandmother, my wife's mom. I imagine them all being that person, and it pissed me off. And I was like, my first response is they should all be charged. Actually, I think it was how the F are they not charged? But the truth is, departments don't have money for training. You can't expect the officers to pay for that training themselves, and police departments don't have that training. So what I want to do is find a way to provide that training for free. And I'm gonna. And and I think that's what I want to do, because that involves politics, that involves everything, because you're lobbying politicians to incentivize. Because here's the thing, you could go to politicians and say, listen, make a $5,000 grant for each police department if 50% of their officers are dual certified. It's going to save lives, literally. Make a $50,000 grant, or earmark in Congress. There's so much that you could do. There's so many things. So it'll probably be a 501c3 and a 504, right? Because 504 can lobby, I believe. It's just crazy, dude. It's crazy. And it's not and I don't have an anti-police stance on this. Besides the officer that was in the vehicle. The officer that was driving her to jail, he heard it. He was in a cruiser. He heard her breathing like that. God forbid they actually left her in the back of that transport van. Because she would have been dead before they even got to the jail.
Yeah.
Buster bought some t-shirts. Shout out to you. And I received a couple of cash apps and stuff too, so I appreciate you guys for doing that. But that's what I'm doing. Everything I make tonight, that's what I'm going to use it for, is setting up this nonprofit. Because it's really easy, and I could do some of the training. I know that other EMTs will do it, and I could pay trainers to go out and hold the seminars. You know what I mean? Because the EMTs need work. They don't make any money. EMTs are severely underpaid. Angelina, yeah, I got your Cash App. Thank you. I appreciate that. But someone said, I don't understand how she was medically cleared. I don't know either. They probably thought, I mean, that's a question. The hospital is going to be liable. Like, I'm sure personal injury lawyers or all these people have already contacted her family. and said, hey, you have a case here. Because the hospital is 100%. They discharged her while she was in medical distress. Even when she was talking to the officers outside. And you can watch the body camera footage in its entirety. And I never put links in the chat, but I will put a link in the chat so you guys can watch this entire body camera footage. Oh, wait, where's this article? And I can't watch the whole thing. I never put links, but I'll put the link for this. And don't like leave right now, but you can share it or you can save it for later. Please don't leave my live stream. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, I gotta get to this one. I bet it's not gonna work. Actually, let me just open up the other chat because this one doesn't work. I don't know much about her medical condition other that she suffered a stroke previously. She knew something was wrong. She flew from up north here somewhere. What the hell? Oh, maybe because it's so cold. I just saw plow trucks go by with their lights on. Angelina said if everyone sends $5, that would almost be... yeah, I mean, I don't have my Cash App and Venmo up, but I could put it up right there if people want to send that. Because like I said, everything I make tonight, that's what I'm using it for. And I'll provide receipts. I have no problem doing that. That's the Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal right there if you want to do that for the night. Or just go buy something from the store. I'll use all the profit in there. Like Taryn just bought coffee. I'm waiting. Yesterday, I forgot to order the smaller boxes, so I got to wait till Monday to package. Well, everything's packaged and ready to go. But I don't know, man. I was just watching it, and I actually wrote a really long email to another police chief, and I explained what I do. And I said, listen, I'd love to just pick your brain. I've been looking for something to do, something to take my thoughts away from all of the politics, right? You know, and now that the coffee company is doing great and just doing everything, she was living in Rhode Island and returning to live in Tennessee. Yeah. It's sad. Erica with the Venmo, thank you. Hospital probably let her go because of insurance. I don't know. I mean, I watched that video and I was just like, there's no way. There's no way you couldn't tell she was in distress. You know, and then it was like it was a mix between that and watching the On Patrol Live, the Live PD spinoff thing that's on Philo. I was watching that from yesterday night's episode and watching them, how they got a guy that's clearly out of his state. He doesn't know what's going on. You know, when we were transporting people, and it's been a while, so I got to brush up on that. But when we were transporting people to the hospital, we did what's an LOC, right? So we'd ask them, do you know who the president is? Do you know how much 4 quarters is? Do you know, like, what's your name? What state are you in? Any of those things, so we could get their level of consciousness, right? And if they didn't have a 4, right? So if they had LOC 2, or, you know, so they didn't know who the president was, they couldn't control their body movements, anything like that, we would be mandated by medical direction to take them to the hospital. And if they didn't want to go, then we'd have to call the police, and they would have to call the police, or we would call the police, and the police would come, and then they would, I forgot what it was, Section 9 them or something like that, and we'd have to take them to the hospital. There's a particular code for it. I don't know. But each state's different. Section 7, Section 81, 89? I don't know. But, and so we'd take them to the hospital. It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Someone said she had been discharged from a nursing home in Rhode Island with a plan in place to live with a friend in Tennessee. Yeah. It's sickening to me. It's sickening. Someone said link again for the store. Or actually, if you guys want to do, if you're looking for any of these links, these ones, because you just want to do that and you don't have money or anything like that, you can also just go to Pure Truth Coffee. Here, I'll put this in the chat too. This is an easier way, and it's got all of our. It's the donate link that we used to use. I prefer you just buy a bag of coffee. That way you're getting something. But we'll set that up because I don't know. It ruined my night, kind of. Like, for one, I was already pissed off because I watched the Live on Patrol thing earlier today. And I was so mad that I said, I swore at the camera. And my kids were there, and my wife was there. And we were watching, and I'm like, how are they not transporting him? How are they allowing him to cross 3 things of the road? How many of you guys watched that? Any of you guys watched that last night, the On Patrol Live? It was right towards the beginning of the episode. It was right in the beginning of the episode, I believe, or maybe 30 minutes in. They're outside of it was Richland County. The big dude with the giant arms, the big black guy there, the cop, he walks up, and he's a nice guy, but they were dealing with people, this guy that was at a gas station, and he was clearly out of it, clearly out of his faculties, and they let him go. Someone said, cops have no duty to protect. Not that complicated. Yes, they do. I know a lot of police officers don't feel like it's their responsibility to do CPR. I've seen that on scenes. When we're doing CPR and we're swapping out someone, we'll ask a cop to get on it. And I know a lot of cops just can't deal with it too. I've talked a couple of times about having to physically move a police officer that went into shock because of the condition of a body during an accident. Like, literally had to pick him up and carry him up a ravine because he was blocking our exit path to get the guy out with a basket because he was alive. And the cop literally came down over the ravine, stopped, froze, and wouldn't move. I yelled at him a couple of times and then put him on my shoulder. Fireman carried him all the way up the freaking ravine. Not Live on Patrol. On Patrol Live. It's a different show. Someone said they don't want to do it. Kate said you watched it. He could have got. That's the whole thing. My wife and I were watching. We're like, there's no way he's not going to get hit because those cars were not stopping. They didn't even have police cars like blocking the road or flashlights or anything. They just had this guy that had no shoes on, no shirt. He thought pavement was like lava, so he wouldn't walk on it. He was like screaming every step he took, and they allowed him to go free. What if he got hit by a car? Would they have been held liable then? I don't know, man. Tina said most departments are required to be CPR certified. We were. Yeah. And I know a lot are. And that's why I started off the video. A lot of cops are what the NREMT now has. They didn't have it when I was an EMT. It started while I was working as an EMT. It's an EMR, emergency medical responder. It's like a first responder. I don't know what their level of scope is, though, so I don't know what they can do. Can they do airways? Can they do, I have no idea. Pat said, it's the medic's job to do CPR, not the cops. That's like asking a medic to go into a fight. Nope, each have different jobs. You're an idiot, Pat. So, and I don't mean that to be mean, but you're an idiot. So you're saying if a cop rolls up on someone and they're having cardiac arrest, right, and they have no pulse, it's not the cop's job to do CPR? I'll tell you what, I'll go even further and say, woo, someone bought, Danielle bought the bug out bag. Shout out to you. I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you, Pat. So are you the type of person that if someone went out right in front of you, you wouldn't try to do CPR or render aid to make sure they're okay? Because it's my belief that it's your civic duty if someone is in need that you should be prepared. You should know how to do CPR and you should be able to try to do your best to keep that. You should be required to do your best to keep that person alive. That's my belief. Saying it's not a cop's job to do CPR. Yes, it is. It's a cop's job to try to keep people alive. It's a cop's job to prevent people from dying. And if you've ever done CPR on someone, you know it's not just a physical thing, it's an emotional thing. When you're doing CPR on someone and it's not working and you're doing it for 5 or 6 minutes and you just need a break because you know you're starting to break, you're starting to lose control because you know the person you're working on is dead and dying, but you still have to keep going. Sometimes it's nice to be able to ask a cop to help you and have them not do anything. When you're done, you can't do anymore. And you're exacerbated. Oh, God, dude. Pat, you've been a cop for 25 years? Jesus Christ. He said, I've been a cop for 26 years. I will do CPR until medics arrive, then it's a medic's job, period. Pat, Retire, dude. Retire. I'll be honest with you, dude. Retire. If you don't fucking retire, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding? Whatever, bro. Man, I don't like people. I don't like people. I mean, thank you for your service and all that, bud, but damn. Damn, bro. Managers at warehouses know CPR. It's basic life-saving skills. Yeah. I've never heard someone that would say that shit, bro. Cops don't carry the necessary equipment to do that in their patrol car, do they? We're not talking about doing CPR in a patrol car. And yes, cops do carry the necessary equipment to do CPR. Because you know what the necessary equipment is? Your hands. In fact, if you're strong and you're big and you know what you're doing, you don't even need to be that strong. You can do it with one hand, right? You can still use your radio calling for EMS while doing CPR. It's really amazing. It's really amazing. You don't do breaths anymore. You don't do breaths. Well, you do them if you have an airbag, but you don't do. Well, I don't know because they switch the CPR every 2 years. I haven't been an EMT for 2 years, so I don't know. Someone said mentally ill people are constantly transported to hospitals for a hold. They're usually back out on the streets again before the paperwork is done. No psych wards anywhere. Being homeless and out of it does not meet the criteria. Not meeting basic needs. Yeah, well, watch that video. Here, you know what? Fuck it. I'll get copyrighted. You tell me if this is being homeless and mental. Watch. Because what I'm talking about yesterday was not homeless and mental. Or what I was talking about on Live on Patrol. I'll only show a second of it.
Yeah.
And you carried AEDs and Narcan. Yeah, I think a lot of cops, I think almost everywhere has AEDs now. I know gyms are required to have them too. Is it going to let me play this here?
Quick 15-minute lesson.
I'm just going to try to skip around. Oh, no, that was earlier.
I'm accusing you. I'm just telling you what they told. Wait a minute. The guy.
Hold on.
When metal.
All right, here it is.
09785.
Slowly trying to get across.
32 on fire.
Hold on.
Tech safety flare with no flame.
Let me mute it, and I'll just watch it on the other screen just till it comes back. And then let me see. I wish I could like fast forward just a second with this thing. I can. Watch. Oh, wait. Okay. I was going too far. You tell me. Tell me this guy. Tell me that guy right there. I muted it. Hold on.
I will get that. Won't make all that.
Bro, you know me? You familiar? You familiar? Okay.
Surprisingly, no.
Okay.
That guy, that's from last night. That guy should not have been able to go. Cops shouldn't have allowed him to go. And then to cross 3 lanes of highway. I couldn't believe it when I was watching it. Watch, this is him crossing the roadway as cars are flying by.
Slowly trying to get across the street, and it is taking a while.
Y'all be safe, bro.
He was with Sergeant Gerald Brown there.
He's clearly not able to operate. Keep in mind there was a commercial break and the cops just leave.
Okay, well we were
It's insane. It's insane. I don't think you need to take an EMT course to understand that that guy was not in it. And they let him go. They let him go. Even my wife was like, what the fuck? Why do they arrest other people but let people like that go? He should be taken to a hospital. You know? Watching that like pissed me off, right? Because I was like screaming at the TV, do you not have any medical training whatsoever? Any to be an officer? To not understand that that guy is clearly under the influence, clearly is not safe to walk around, let alone a highway. If he was right next door, say, for example, say I was a cop, right? And I had just the medical knowledge that I have. If I was a cop, he would be going to the hospital. 100%. I don't care if I was right next, I don't care if he was in his yard. He was not in control. He would be going to the hospital. Someone said, unfortunately, or Tina, of law enforcement, said, unfortunately, there are so many people out there on drugs, so out of it that it's unsafe, but you can't take them all in. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. You're right. You're right, and I agree. There are so many that are unsafe. And I've seen them do it before. I've seen drugs go. I've seen them let drunks go home where they can't even go. There was the other day with that old man that was falling over on the scooter. Clearly not okay to operate. They were trying to say for him just to walk home with his little moped thing. It's just sad, dude. It's sad. I saw that and I was like, there's no way. And maybe you're right. There's just too many of them. You can't do it. I don't know, man. I don't know. Someone said they threatened to charge police with assault for taking them to the ER for that. Yeah, I don't know. Someone said they should have a team, or Tina said they should have a team to take those people to the hospital, at least for their, or to detox, at least for their safety. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think all police officers should have elevated training. Should have elevated, first responder, either at the EMR level or EMT level. All police officers. Because they could diagnose things. They could figure, there's just so much more they could do. They could truly be the first responders. If you want to talk about, like, helping police officers, right, and especially in the public, imagine that the police officers are now also medically trained. So you get there and say there's a medical call. The cops show up first to help. And I know a lot of EMTs that work in, bigger cities and all that, they get confused. And I know in our training, they used to say that. Like, sometimes people will be overly aggressive with you. Like, for example, if you're wearing a bulletproof vest as an EMT and you go to a scene because it's, violent or whatever, people will be overly aggressive with you because they think you're a cop. I don't know, man. CPR is a basic standard. I'm sure you have to have your CPR for healthcare or for first responder or healthcare provider. I don't know. You probably have to have a certification just to be a, dude, it's just crazy, bro. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. And I bet most police departments, just like we talked about, I bet most police departments and most police officers, especially in rural communities, probably not in cities, they're not going to want to take on any more. But you got rural communities, right, where police officers, take my county, for example. We've got towns that are 20 minutes away. So by the time the police are getting there and EMS is dispatched out, it could be a 20-minute response time. I had one place where I was at when I worked for the EMS company, we had coverage of 9 towns. The furthest town was about, no joke, with lights and sirens, about 45 minutes away. And we got called there one time we got called there a lot, but we got called there one time for someone that was in medical distress, someone that was, it was a suicide, right? I know you're not supposed to say that on YouTube. He wasn't in distress. He committed it, right? But we got toned out because he apparently didn't finish it right away, right? So we got toned out, except we weren't allowed to go on the scene because there was a gun there. So they had to call police. Police were further away from us. We went priority 2, so we had lights on, or priority 3. I don't remember anymore. It's been a long time. But we went lights and sirens until we turned them off and just went lights, and then we turned them off because we finally heard on the radio that the state police were still 20 minutes away. And so we had to stage at the police department. We couldn't even go in. And the guy died. He lived for about 25 minutes. He tried to crawl out of the field. But it's just crazy, dude. It's crazy. Philip Smith said you're an EMT and you could save lives, but you choose to do coffee instead. Yeah, that's what happens when you do CPR on toddlers and they die. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I can't do that anymore. I think I could teach it, but I can't. I mean, dude, that fucked me up for years. It's something I've always thought about, something I've always got, thought about going back and doing. Or, Brian said paramedic training. I've thought about that side too. I actually was in a paramedic course when we moved to Florida. When I quit the fire department and we moved to Florida, I enrolled in a paramedic school. And I did probably, I don't know, a couple of months of it. And then realized there's no way. Because I figured with a medic, I could just go work in a hospital or something. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. My brain wasn't built for it. I dealt with, traumatic stuff, fine. But when it came to the kids, I lost it. Couldn't do it. So, D Huffin, whatever, on Facebook said, this woman was old and sick. She wanted her inhaler, and they kept saying she didn't have one. In that case, you roll her back into the hospital doors and say, woman needs an inhaler. Yeah, you could hear her wheezing, too. I mean, you knew she was in medical dire condition. You knew it. Angry Viking veteran said, EMS burnout is real. One bad call can end a 20-year career. I didn't even have that. My partner had 17 years. She walked right off the scene. Never came back. 17 years. Never came back. But I lasted like 2 more months and then quit. But, so I don't know. So that's I think, well, I know that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start the nonprofit and we will do grants and we will raise, or I'll do the trainings myself. I am going to go back and just at least, because you have to be licensed in what you're teaching. So I have to be an EMT, and then I have to take the course to be an EMT instructor. And I think I could teach the EMR and EMT side, and then just I have to get sponsored by a school or something. But I'll do that. That won't be an issue. But it's crazy, man. It's crazy. American veteran said no money and will never happen. What's that? You talked about the training? Doesn't cost that much if I'm doing it myself. And I like to do, I like to give away shit. So anyone that's been watching me for a long time, no. Billy Mack said, truck driving question, do you double clutch or float the gears? I don't do any of that. So I don't drive truck anymore. But the only CDL rig I ever drove, because I wasn't a CDL driver, the only CDL rig I ever drove was an automatic. It was a Peterbilt. But that was a CDL truck, but it was for a farm, so I didn't need a CDL because it's a farm. Cops are trained in CPR, but it's the medic's job to save the lives, not the cops' priority, especially once medic arrive. Cops are not medics. Again, you're missing it. Yeah, but so you're telling me, Pat, like, dude, I'm going to call bullshit on you real quick. You're telling me you've never been to a call where EMS and medics are there, right? And they're working on someone trying to get them ready, and then they code, right? And they're doing CPR, and there's only 2 of them. Well, it depends where you are. Maybe you're from a big city, so you didn't have those responsibilities, right? But they're doing CPR because typically you don't transport if you're actively doing CPR, or at least, especially rural, you don't, right? Because then you only have one person in the back. And EMTs can't, do drugs or anything like that. The only thing they can really do is CPR. So you're telling me, Pat, that if you and I were working a scene together and I was doing CPR on a little kid for several minutes and I said, hey, I need a break, can you do CPR? You would say no? You would say no, Pat? In that scenario I just gave, can you answer that? Let me know. Didn't you go back to driving a truck? Yeah, it was an automatic. I wouldn't drive a truck unless it's an automatic. Automatic rigs are lame. Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for Pat's comment. Philip Smith said we can't. You can't what? You can't do CPR? That's not true at all. I'm waiting for Pat's comment. Where's Pat's comment? Someone said a POS company one time didn't hire me because they said they want all their drivers to float gears. I think the road test guy was just jealous of me and scared of to do his job. Yeah, I don't. So floating gears, that's where you're shifting. I used to do that. I had what was it? Freightliner. That's where you're just shifting. So you clutch into first gear, but then you just float out, right? And you're just shifting as you're not pressing the clutch. But you can't really do that. And how do you can't do that downshifting either. That shit won't work. Pat is he's not gonna type. Once the EMT takes to seeing you cannot. That's not once the EMT leaves? Philip, no, that is not true at all. You're saying once the EMT gets there? Oh, so Pat said I don't work rural, so there's always enough medics that would not happen. That's not what I asked you. I just asked you that particular scenario, Pat. I'm asking you that particular scenario that I just outlaid for you, right? Say someone was coding right there, and it was just you, me, and a medic, right? So the medic's applying all the drugs, EMT's doing CPR, and you, nobody else. And I said, hey, Pat, I need your help. I can't do this. I'm not in the right mental state or whatever the condition is. You let me know if you would help or you would say it's not my job. Let me know. Tina said you're supposed to render aid even after deadly force. Are you telling me that the cops that are watching this video, that if you've never assisted EMTs, if they ask for your help when they're rendering aid after, you've never helped? Pat said the actual scenario you brought up was not the one now. Pat, it was, and I said it twice. So do I need to say it again, or are you going to actually answer the question, Pat? Please don't send me Pat if you ever need an EMT. He's not an EMT. He's a cop. He's apparently the type of cop that that shouldn't be a cop anymore. He's this type of cop. Right there. That type of cop where the cop is just like, I'm just going to let him go. Who cares if he gets hit by a car? I don't know. Someone said you float every gear after you start downshifting also. How do you do that? I don't even know how you could do that. Or you're just waiting for the RPMs to drop? No. You can't. No, you can't. I don't know. Maybe you could. That would be hard, though. I've never done that. Float shifted while downshifting? All right, so YouTube mods, say goodbye to Pat. Thank you for your service, Pat, but you need to retire, buddy. He said wrong. I did answer. I said I'd give CPR until a medic arrived. I gave you 3 chances. Pat's probably not even a cop. He's probably a fat, lazy fucking streamer. That's probably what he is. And if you're not and you really are a cop, thank you for your patronage. Thank you for watching. I don't want you watching anymore. Let's just be honest. We don't need... Oh, God. Please just fucking leave. See, he just basically said if he was on a scene and an EMT asked him for help, he would say, no, not my job. You are the reason why people hate cops, Pat. You are the reason why people don't like police officers anymore. Because you're that fucking attitude. Your job is to help people. Fuck, bro. Man. You fucking kid. Wow, Pat just ruined the night. Tell you what, Pat gets our troll discount of the fucking night. Right now, on Pure Truth Coffee, you get 7% off using discode PATSUCKS. All one word. Fuck you. Fucking unbelievable. Right now. Oh, wait. How do I do? Oh, I got to do off order. Hold on. I know that was mean to say he's the reason why people hate cops. He's the reason why people have no respect for police officers at all. Fuck, dude, that sucks, bro. Go to Pure Truth Coffee. Actually, here's a link. I'll put the link in the chat. You don't even need to do it. Anything in your cart will be 7% off right now. Use that link I just put in the chat. That's only good for this show. Fuck, dude. What? Oh, God. I hope he was a troll and not an actual cop. I really do. I really hope he's not a police officer. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? You match up the RPMs to match the output speed. Yeah, that's what I figured. Because you could. Yeah, you could. It would just be hard. Someone said he was on YouTube. Yeah. No, I'm not going to make a shirt about Pat. You guys can use Pat Sucks for 7% off. Jesse B said, I agree with Pat. I've been a cop for a long time. EMT's job is to do medical. I can't believe you talk so disrespectfully towards someone who disagreed with you. I'm done watching your show too. All right, Jesse, thank you for being here. You don't need to announce. We're not an airline. You don't need to say when you're departing. You could just go. I'm disrespectful to someone that I don't believe should be wearing a uniform. That's what I believe. Because here's the thing. As someone who's worked scenes, right? As someone who's done CPR and as someone who burnt out and someone who... It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. Oh, dude. I'll be honest. If I was ever on a scene, or say I was a dad, right? And an EMT was working on my kid, and the EMT was like visibly, missing beats and all that stuff because they were worked up, right? And that EMT asked an officer to help, and the officer said no. I'd be going to jail for the rest of my life. I just can't believe that. I can't believe. Now we have two. We've got Jesse, who's probably not a cop, and Pat. That both say it's an EMT's job. That would be like me saying, okay, I pull up on a scene and a suspect is beating the shit out of a cop and he's got his gun and I know I'm armed, but I don't do anything because it's not my job. Fuck, dude. That's the best analogy. Bro, fuck. I don't like oatmeal. Or I like oatmeal. I don't like peanut butter. I used to make a shake every morning. Someone made a comment about oatmeal and peanut butter. I don't like peanut butter like much, I used to put a scoop of peanut butter in a shake with oatmeal and all that stuff. I don't like the smell of peanut butter. I like it. I like eating it, but I don't like the smell of it. I've watched Ukraine on Fire. It's good, yep. Mike said it's a perfect example. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good example, right? Like you pull up on a scene, or say you're not, say you're a civilian, you're armed, right? But you pull up and you see a cop fighting with a suspect and the suspect's getting the better of him. You're saying that person that has the ability to shoot the suspect shouldn't do it because it's not his job? Dumb, bro. Or because the cop's there. I don't know. This makes me mad. Craig said, Steve, have you ever toyed with doing something like what Bob and Pat do on Live on Patrol and TW Lives? What, chasing calls? No. I don't want to do that. I don't even like listening to scanners now. Someone said, OMG, what if that was Pat Scott? I don't know what you mean. We live in a selfish world. Yeah, I guess so. I hope Pat wasn't a cop. I'm sure I'm going to get some email and he's going to be like, I sent you a patch for Patchwall. I've been watching since the riots. How could you do this? How could you say this? You're so disrespectful. I'm going to be like, no, my firm belief is that you should no longer be a cop. If you don't think it's your job to help people and you think you shouldn't do everything in your power to help people because, well, it's other people's jobs, you shouldn't be in that profession. That's it. You know? And maybe I was mean. Maybe I said too much. I don't know. But I'm not taking it back because I feel like I was in the right. Maybe Pat, you know, will be my first student. Twin sister said, dispatcher here, police in my small town secure the scene and let medics in. The police don't care if there's medical need right then or not. They just secure the scene. Yeah. And maybe it's because they don't have any training. Because, see, you know, a cop is not going to, you know, well, outside of what they do know, they're not going to go and try to render medical aid. Well, I don't know. Someone said, damn, you missed a discount. No, you don't. You could still order now. You could get 7% off this thing. It's site-wide. Get the coffee bag bundle and you save 7%. That's like what? $20? You save $20, roughly. 18, 19 bucks. Someone said, supposed to be selfless, not shellfish. Not selfish. It's not a job where. It's not my job flies. That's coming from a cop. That's the right attitude. Lots of things are easier said than done. Believe me, ask your friend that are cops. I know. They wouldn't be my friends if they didn't have the same attitude. They wouldn't be family members if they didn't have the same attitude. In fact, most of my friends that were cops are also EMTs. Damn, bro. I don't know. Someone said it's not about being a cop or EMT. It's more about being a person. All humans should render aid in a situation. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I understand what the dispatcher said, where police have to go and secure the scene. I'm not saying a cop shouldn't secure a scene. My specific example is imagine the cop secures a scene, right? And they know that, say they pull up and there's, they're responding to a disorderly person call, right? And that disorderly person, when they pull up, they know EMS is on the run. Or with disorderly, you don't even get calls for EMS, right? So think about that. The cop gets on scene. There's someone that's been beat up or something like that, right? And they're not breathing well, right? They have something obscuring their airway, or their mouth is full of blood, right? And they can't get it out because he's bleeding from in his mouth. So what do they have to do? They try to get an NPA in or something like that. Cops can't do that. It's outside of their scope. EMTs could, but what do? Do you wait? Do you roll him on the side? Do you just wait? What do? Say he's got a broken leg. Or say, you got to put him in traction. He could bleed out. He's got a broken, oh God, I got to fucking buy a book before I go and try to research. What the fuck? Tibia? No. Whatever. You know what I mean? Let's think about it. Billy Mack said, I retired with the NPD after 20 years at age 48 because I realized that I probably couldn't fight with the younger perps anymore. So, Billy Mack, let me ask you that question because you're a retired cop. If I was say you were responding to a call, or say you and I and another person were on a call, right? The other person was a medic, so they're doing whatever they're doing, attaching, the machines. They're pumping them full of drugs, trying to get them going. I'm doing CPR. I'm breaking down, right? I'm losing my composure. And so I ask you to do compressions. Would you do compressions? Especially if you knew you were CPR certified. Would you, Billy Mack, do compressions? If I asked you, broken femur, there you go. Jesus Christ. It's a long night anyway. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. Because my office and in the store, everything, it's clean as shit. All the coffee is packed and ready to go. I just don't have any boxes. Trying Teresa said, retired RN, and I am pissed at the hospital. The cop's attitude sucked for sure. This woman from the start end was freaked out. Yeah, she was. Teresa, you also have a Patriotic SF ammo can that's coming to you. I have everything but the book. So, Teresa, I'm going to send you an email tomorrow. You're going to get your package in 3 shipments because tomorrow I'm going to put together your ammo can. It's just not going to have a book. I'm going to send you the book separately, and then your shirts and everything you probably already have by now. But so be ready. Billy Mack said, if the EMT, he said, absolutely, if the EMT requests help, you must assist. Yeah. See, that's why I don't think Pat was a cop. I don't think Pat was a cop. And Jesse, I don't think was a cop either. Because all the actual cops, all the people that I know are really, that are being descriptive of their time, they're all saying, no, they would definitely render medical aid. So I'm just going to assume Pat wasn't a cop and he was a troll. That would make me feel so much better. Because if he was a cop, I'm going to be like, what the hell? But, I think, I don't know. It's crazy. April said she was on the road for 12 hours today, and then Katniss said, why were you on the road, April? Isn't that dangerous to hang out on the road? Oh, she's got jokes. It's funny. Like another person said before, even if you shoot a person, you're required to render aid until EMS arrives. Yeah. Bobby said, your son's a cop, and he said they do whatever it takes to aid in medical. Yeah, I know. That's why I don't think Pat was a cop. I've never been on a scene. I've been on scenes where cops are like, I don't know what to do, but I've never been on a scene where a cop didn't help when I asked him to help. Ever. Speaking of weather, Tim, are you here? What's up with those two bags, homie? I gave you a fat discount. Come on, buddy. But fucking Pat ruined my night. Ruined my night. But anyway, this was a fun show. It's a fun show. You guys stay tuned. I don't know what I'm going to call the nonprofit yet. I was thinking about calling it Elite. Elite? No. I can't. Like Elite, but then I could say we're elite. You know why? But see, I can't. The N is silent, right? Because I was thinking law enforcement, EMT. But then the abbreviation would be LEAT. I don't know. That would actually be Lent. I don't know. Billy Mack said, do I prep food, water? No, I don't. Buster Tosh said, already ordered. You can order again. Pat sucks. Code not working, or I'm doing it wrong. The code is Pat sucks. Let me double check. Yep, Pat sucks. It's working. Nobody's used it yet, but it is working. I gave you the link. If you click on that link, this link that's in your chat right now, if you click on this link and go to the store through this link, it'll automatically, I believe, give you the discount. Teresa said, it's for me, Steve. I'm the one who ordered Patriotic as F bundle, but your coffee wasn't there. Yeah, what? The Fiery But Peaceful? Is that the one? So I sent you a different bag and sent you a note saying I'll send you the Fiery But Peaceful? Was that you, Teresa? Because I sent you a Fiery But Peaceful yesterday, I believe. Or no, 2 days ago. If that's not you, send me an email and I will get to it tomorrow. I'm going through all this stuff tomorrow. Matt is back for his daily video game question. Play any cool Counter-Strike tourneys recently? I know you've been working a lot. No, I haven't played any Counter-Strike. Oh, yeah. Law enforcement emergency training. LEAT. Fuck yeah. See, that's a good idea. But shouldn't I do more training than that? I don't know. Interesting. Just Century Joe said, if my Patriotic FS bundle is Brian from California, you'll take it. There's not many people that are waiting, unless you just ordered the other day. Because I got most of the bundles out already. Periodic. No, Brian, yours is probably already shipped. I don't have it open for you. Brian from California. No. The only people that I haven't sent it out to are Pat. Oh, is that you, Pat? There's no way. Can you imagine if that was the same Pat that he ordered? I'll fucking refund his money. Desiree, John, no. Oh, Teresa, yeah. So Teresa, that's you with the book. So I was waiting on coffee and the book, so now I have the coffee, but not the book. So Teresa, yours will go out tomorrow. And then who's the other one?
Yeah.
Samantha. Oh no, Samantha's already went out too. Oh, those are the shirts. So it's just Pat. Pat ordered one. Can you imagine if it was the same Pat? All the shirts are still going. Nobody else is waiting. You got to track your orders. I just check. I have it all pulled up, so I see everybody that's waiting. Some of you may be waiting for like T-shirts or something, but just check your order because you'll see a new order and you can check it. However, if you live in Winter Garden, Florida, you probably have the wrong tracking number because the person that's waiting on shirts from California was like, "Yo, Steve, you delivered my shit to the wrong address," and I realized I put the wrong tracking number in there somehow. But there you go. Wake Up America. Yeah, you were waiting for the Teresa. I remember. Yeah. I was waiting on the Wake Up America. I packaged it all this morning. Got you. Alfonso Hall, Wasteland Warrior said, "LOL, Steve. Sorry, this was fun while it lasted. All we do is talk about coffee. I don't even drink coffee. It smells good, though." Oh, you mean so you haven't been watching the entire show? What the fuck? Why do people say I only talk about coffee? I literally ranted about this woman that died in Knoxville for the first hour of the show. I talk about coffee for a second and people complain. Fucking A, bro. I hate this. Hype people. Anyway, I'm going to leave that discount code up. I'll leave that discount code up. And hey, if you don't care about a book, but you want a Patriotic As F bundle, use that discount code tonight. Your bundle will ship on Monday. Because I just got all the new Declaration of Independence whiskey glasses today. So I could send 9 of those fuckers out right away. So if you don't care about a book and you order the Patriotic As F ammo can bundle, that's the one that comes in the ammo can. It's got the bag of coffee, all the patriotic stickers, patches, all that good stuff. Actually, if you order a Patriotic As F bundle today, I'll also include a signed copy of my Amazon bestseller, Inside the Mind of Joseph Biden, a book that's as empty as Joe Biden's promises. I'll sign it for you too. How about that? I'll include that for your book because I don't have the books because they take forever. But that's if you order a Patriotic As F ammo can bundle today. If you order one tonight, use code PATSUCKS and you get 10% off. Let me see if anyone's used that code yet. Did it work for you, Taryn? Yeah, the code worked. You just bought the hoodie and got the code. Nice. So how about that? Buy the Patriotic As F bundle tonight. I'll include I only have 5 of them, though, so no more than 5. Maybe I have 6 books. I think I have 1 in that thing, too. But I'll include a signed copy of my bestseller, which you could buy on Amazon. Look up Inside the Mind of Joseph Biden. And, yeah. Do that. Do that. Katniss said, if I mail mine to you, will you sign it? Yes, I will. You can mail it to my store. I'll sign it. No problem doing that. But that's a good deal. And use code PATSUCKS and you get 10% off. Or 7% off, not 10. I got to get better at the chat. Like, I don't know how, like, the professional YouTubers do it, where they don't get all pissed off when someone says something stupid. When does French vanilla? I have everything in stock right now. So Anybody who placed like a coffee order in the past couple of days, the only reason, well, actually, there isn't many of you because I have all the coffee out except unless you ordered yesterday or you were waiting on Wake Up America. I have it all. It's all packed. So tomorrow, everyone's going to start getting the shipping notices again because I'm out of boxes. All the boxes are coming by Uline. So what I do is I have a huge table in the shipping room. So I'm going to set up all the orders on that table. And then when the boxes come, I'll throw it all in the box unless you order more than one cup of coffee or one bag of coffee, because then I do have boxes for those. The single bag boxes I don't have, and I'm not going to ship them in a bigger box. Cost me more money. But someone said you just have to have more fun trolling them than they do you. Yeah. I don't know. It's very distracting. I don't like it, but whatever. Hopefully some of you guys are sticking it to Pat and buying the Patriotic SF Ammo Can bundle. And I promise you, if you buy that bundle tonight, it'll ship on Monday. And it will ship, the first 6 will ship with my sign book in it. I'll sign it right to you. Whatever the name is on the order, I'll sign it right to you. All right, I'm going home. I appreciate, someone said, how am I doing on the teas? Not that good yet. I don't drink tea. And my wife does, but we offer tea here in the store. More people got it. Gem Jewel. Someone said, all I received is an email that says last item was delivered, but you checked on here and said they were sent by printer company. I have nothing but time. All good. I don't know what that means. I did get someone's order, but I have to open the package. I'm assuming it's t-shirts where the address was incorrect. I did get that today. I'll open that tomorrow and look it up, but I don't have that yet. But go over to puretruthcoffee.com. Buy whatever you want. We're using all the profits today to start this nonprofit. So I should have more for you on Monday about that. And then I think the IRS thing is going to take forever to get the nonprofit cert, but I don't have to wait to function to do that. So I appreciate all you guys hanging out with me, even the trolls, all the law enforcement. Thank you for watching. And I will see all of you guys on Monday. I am officially never doing shows on Sunday anymore. I'm taking the nights off or Sundays off to be with my family. Granted, I'll be in here working, but after that, I'll be home. But I appreciate all you guys, and I'll see all of you on Monday. All right?